Hey everybody, it's Wes from Printful. I'm here with Tim, one of our photographers here, and we're going to talk about product photography today. So Tim, we have really awesome mock-ups on our website that are free to use and people just get them as a part of using Printful. But one way to really step up your game, right, is by doing your own product photography. Can you tell me a little bit about kind of the importance of product photography and how that can help someone take their store to the next level?
Yeah, sure. So there's definitely a place when you're starting out your store for using mock-ups. The big benefit, of course, of that is they're free. They're available on the website and they're easy. You just upload the picture and away you go. But when you start getting into the level where you're getting regular sales, you're building a brand and you want to have more of a personal relationship with your customers, that's where product photography as a custom service really comes in. When you start making pictures like that, which are not available elsewhere on the internet, you start getting real identity to your store and people will associate with your brand a lot more. It really depends on your target market. If you have hundreds of different designs in your store, mock-ups can actually be really good for that because you have a consistent style of shirt and all that people will see when they're browsing through is the different designs that are on it. It's really easy for people to just pick out the little details that they want. But if you're working on building much more of a whole branding experience, mock-ups are not as strong for that.
Can you tell me the different types of product photography?
There's three major ones, I guess. The first would be just flat product photos. That's where we just take a t-shirt, lay it down on a white surface or a texture maybe, and take a photo from straight above it. Then you can have lifestyle product photos, which is shirt on a person, and you're out in an environment somewhere. You've got an actual background.
Right.
And then the third one is with wrinkles and stuff. When you're doing the flat ones, it's a bit of a variant. Just wrinkle it up, get a bit more life in there, or hang it on a clothes hanger or something like that. Still without a model, but it's just it's not as plain as the flat one. When you're making listings on your website as well, keep in mind it's totally fine to mix them together. You can have one listing that's got 3 product photos and 3 lifestyle photos on it. It's the same product, it's the same story, it's just different details of it. So.
Right. Can you give me an example of a specific time and place for each of those?
So flat lays would be most used for when you have large catalogs. Like I was saying before, with having the same background behind everything. So. Right. It lets you just focus on the design a lot more. The lifestyle product photos, you're probably going to use that more as kind of a crossover between product photos and marketing photos. You get more of an emotional response from your customers when you have something like that.
Right. So that's great for website banners and social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, the kind of you can use it in your storefront as the hero image.
Right.
And then you have a couple of the flat product photos maybe to go with it.
Okay.
But you can also use that same picture then on your Instagram channel and get the cross-marketing kind of feel like that. The wrinkled photos or on a hanger, that's going to be targeted somewhere like Etsy, I guess, a marketplace where you need a bit more character in your photo. But they still have some pretty hard restrictions on how you can actually set everything up for your photo shoot.
What are some of those restrictions?
Okay, so it really depends on which marketplace you're going for. So for example, if you're going to be listing on Amazon, you need to make sure that you're fitting in with your hero image has to have a plain white background. It's got to be pure white so that it fits into their grid and everything like that. Etsy is not so much restricted in terms of colors like that, but some marketplaces do have things like you can't have models, or you can't at least not in the hero image, or you can't have kids in it and things like that. So
nuts.
If you're listing on marketplaces, you really want to check the rules about photo requirements.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I had no idea that there were different restrictions on those things. What makes a good product photo?
There's a couple of different points. The first one, for a product photo, you want to make sure that the design is clear, or at least easily recognizable. If you're talking about lifestyle product photos, maybe you'll have a little bit of your model goes in front of the design or something like that. You want to make sure that when the customer is looking at it, they can really easily see what it is and what it says. You want to make sure also that when you're presenting a picture as a product photo, it's accurate and it's truthful. It's not quite the same as marketing shots where you're trying to get more of an emotional response out of people. This is about presenting information. A good product photo will be clean, it'll be clear, and it will be honest. That's my big 3 points for product photos.
Okay, clean, clear, and honest.
Yeah.
I like it. If I'm setting up a photo for my Shopify store, is there a certain type that would do better than if it was on Etsy?
It's not so much that there's a certain type that does better on Shopify. Some of the integrations you're working on your own website, and some of them you're working in a marketplace.
Right.
So if it's your own website, like for example Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, that thing, people are only looking at your products when they're on your site.
Right.
So you don't have to try to grab their attention with a particular product. They're already there looking at your stuff.
Right.
If you're listing on something like Etsy, your product is competing for attention with thousands of other sellers. So if you have a plain white background, chances are that people are going to be less likely to look at it. That's
Right.
where it's really good to have photos with backgrounds in them, like or environmental mock-ups.
What separates a good photo versus a good product photo?
Generally speaking, a good photo has a lot of different features than what we look for in a product photo. For example, you might have some really dramatic shadows or something like that, or movement and blur and things. It makes it look really cool,
Yeah.
but it's not going to help you really sell that product by showing the details of it. You need to make sure that all of those details are really easily accessible by the customer, where in general photography you might be taking some awesome wide angle shot of a person on a mountain or something, and it looks awesome and inspiring, but it's not selling your product.
Right.
It's selling that place and that emotion. So that's the major difference that we're going for between just nice photos and nice product photos.
All right, let's talk about some tips real quick. Like, what are 3 elements that I can look out for when I'm going to start taking my own product photos?
The 3 major things that we're going to want to deal with, first of all, is lighting. We want to make sure that we don't have any really hard shadows coming on the object. A little bit of shadow is okay, like some texture and realism, but we don't want anything that's too distracting on there. Second thing is framing. A lot of times when people are just starting out, they're cropping off important bits of the product or shooting too wide and not getting enough detail of the product. Make sure you get the actual product like nice and full in the frame and showing everything that needs to be in there. And the third thing is a little bit different. It's we're going to go with arrangement for this one. So this is more if you're doing like flat lays, really popular at the moment, shooting down over the top with multiple products in your photo, getting that visual balance between everything right. So maybe you need to just change the order of where things are and work with the gaps a little bit, but making sure that photo, when you look at it, it just feels balanced.
And what are some do's and don'ts when it comes to product photography?
First of all, I would say you want to try to avoid wide-angle lenses.
Okay.
The problem with shooting with a wide-angle lens is it makes a lot of distortion in your picture.
Okay.
So when things get close to the edge of your frame, they get bent out and they get unnatural curves on them, which is fine when you're doing landscapes and photos of the starry night sky and things like that. But for example, you're doing a poster maybe.
Right.
You don't want the edges of your poster looking warped. If you're using a digital SLR, maybe like a 50mm or higher for focal length. With a smartphone, if you've got a portrait mode or like a tele lens, flick to that one to do your product photos. The other thing that you really want to try to avoid is distracting backgrounds, like having nice neutral brick walls or distressed timbers and things like that. That's fine, but try to avoid doing anything like putting your t-shirt onto a brightly colored circular rug or something like that, where the colors are just going to be swirling in everywhere. And yeah, anything that's going to be too distracting, keep that right out of the way. Neutral is much better.
If people are looking to commission a photographer, for example, like what's a great way to find one or get in touch with you and your team?
So I mean, you've got 2 options, I guess, for getting custom photos done. You can either work locally with a photographer that you know or hire in your area, or Printful also has a photo services operating now. We run it at the moment from our European facility here in Riga. If you want to get your photos done, get in touch with us through the website. We'll put the link in the description, but you can just send your designs in. We'll print everything right here in the factory, take it straight off the line and do the photos here. There's much less time involved in waiting for products to be shipped around and moved to different places. We do give a discount for items that are fulfilled for a photo shoot.
Okay.
So you get 20% off your order for that, and there's no limit on how many items you can have shot. So if you want to order 20 t-shirts for your photo shoot, 20% off all of them. Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
It's a pretty good deal. So if you have really specific images in your head about what you want to get out of the shoot, that might be a situation where you want to deal with someone locally where you can have in-depth conversations, be there in person and be there on the day of the shoot to help direct it.
For sure.
But if you just want to make sure you get something a bit different to what everyone else is using and you like the way that Printful images look in general, but you want your own custom ones, we're happy to help. We'll do it every day of the week.
Cool. Let me ask you this about, you're talking about having an image in your head. Do you suggest people putting together like Pinterest boards or like little lookbooks or moods of like what they're going for their just their line and website and
definitely
everything?
Not just for getting your photography done, but building your brand in general, right? So you want to make sure that when you're posting social pictures or working on emails or building the theme for your website, when the customer comes and looks at it, everything is going to kind of work together. So mood boards are really good like that, which Pinterest is great for, or you can just go Google images or searching through maybe like big competitor websites, something like that, just to get an idea of what you think works. Put it all together in like a Word document or folder on your computer, just download all those pictures and keep collecting and refining that and building your brand that way.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our blog and our YouTube channel for lots of great content just like this. Hey, it's Wes from Printful. I hope you found that video very helpful. All the links that we mentioned can be found in the description below. Don't forget to check out our other tutorials, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the little bell icon so that way you always get notified when we have new videos.